All right, we're back at the BSHL podcast. I'm here with my guest, the general manager of the Springhill Coal Miners, Connor Smith. Connor, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks, man. It's good. It's good to be on here. I like what you guys are doing. It
Thanks, I appreciate
it
that.
definitely brings awareness to the league.
Yeah, I definitely feel like there's not enough coverage, especially for the teams in the southern part of the league. So I'm trying to hopefully bridge that gap, and it's been getting really good reception from a lot of the guys, a lot of the players, and a lot of the fans. I'm
Yeah.
getting a ton of messages, so it's cool.
We got to talk to Roger. Maybe we can get it to be the official BSHL podcast.
We got it. If I've emailed Roger, if you can talk to Roger, we'll make it happen. But for now, we're the unofficial, and I'm okay with that.
Maybe you could have two. You could be unofficial. You could be official. Maybe just say
I
some
would.
things you wouldn't say on the official.
Could we have like a transition episode where I announce that we're the official? That would be fun.
Have Roger as your guest. That'd be great. He'd have like 50 years of senior hockey to talk about.
Yeah, we could, man. I could go into it. It'd be a good time. So the Springhill Coal Miners, your second year. How are you enjoying Senior A hockey, being a GM?
It's different. It's weird. Like a little bit of a background. I was the trainer for a junior B team in Cumberland for like 4 seasons. And I started to scout for some teams in Ontario. They have a couple of those outlaw leagues where they pay pretty well if you get players to go. So I started with that a little bit, and then I was on the bench with junior C. And then I took like 4 or 5 years off, and then started talking to some friends, and here we are with the senior A team. It's definitely a lot different. I like it more. Not that I don't like junior. It's just the guys have played for a long time. You don't really have to like tell them anything. They know everything pretty much.
Yeah, they're
There's no
responsible. They know they got to
babysitting,
show
which
up
is
for a
nice.
game.
Yeah, like there's the responsibility. Not that like I run the junior team now too in Springhill, and it's not that like the juniors just need to be guided a little bit more. But even like the overall game is just completely different. And I mean, there's a lot of things that like the players have been through. Like a lot of our guys, some of them have won championships and stuff like that. So like we have a really good locker room because all of them just want to win.
Yeah, you
So
guys, you guys have a great team. We talk about it on the podcast here a lot. We initially started as we're Hawks fans. We're from Rishabakto, but over the course of last year, we really kind of just fell in love with the league and being wrestling fans and knowing that Boyce has a little something to do with this team. My buddy Corey and I, who's my co-host here, we both kind of got into it, and we're like, you know what? It's probably our second favorite team in the league right now. Or last year was the Coal Miners, just because you guys had a really fun product.
well, it helps too. Like we hear that a lot too from fans that come to our rink. Even when we're on the road, like a lot of fans like us over some of the other teams. I think because we're not from New Brunswick.
That's fair. That's fair. It's
Like
hard
we're
to
the
be
only
from
Nova
Bucktouche.
Scotian team.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. It's
yeah, I get
like if
that.
you're a Hawks fan, it's probably hard to like the JCs a lot. If you're a JCs fan, you probably don't like the Hawks a lot. If you like Shippigan, you probably don't like Trackety. Everybody loves us.
Yeah, you guys
Not,
are
not
everybody's
everybody.
B team, and you serve phenomenal pizza. Paisano's pizza is phenomenal. We talk about food a lot on this podcast, and you guys have some of the better food in the league. So we enjoy our trips to Spring Hill.
Yeah, Paisanos is actually our major sponsor. I mean, I'm sure if you looked at the back of our jerseys, you can see Paisanos Pizzeria on the back of them. But it's funny. The story. I mean, it's not funny. It's ironic how we got the canteen. We just didn't have a canteen for like 2 of our home games, and it was starting that the fans were complaining quite a bit. So the rink was looking for somebody, and Paisano, like Market Paisanos, he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll do the canteen." So now he has the canteen, and I'd say I mean, the poutine's pretty good across the league, but I think ours is up there.
I haven't had very many bad poutines, but yeah,
No,
we've had some
exactly.
good times in Spring Hill. Um, so let's get into the roster a little bit. You guys have a lot of returning guys this year.
We do, yes. We
Um,
actually, I think there's only like 4 that didn't come back. We lost Matt Noyles. He's, had started a family, going to be a dad again, so congrats to him. we had Jordan Mackey, who just couldn't play because of work commitments. Trevor Layton, I believe, is coming back. He just has an off-season injury, so he wasn't on our roster we announced, but he should be back in at least some form. And we lost Joel Strong as well. So there's four, and then just had a couple guys. Marshall McDonald from last year decided to retire from playing. I mean, he's 45, so you definitely understand that. And there's a couple guys who just, I mean, we were that good that they just didn't make the cut.
Wow, that's
like, we've had some nice additions too. So I mean, it's nice to have a really good core coming back for sure.
Let's talk about your additions. Who's coming back? Who's new this year?
So new this year, well, he's not entirely new. Michael Clark played one game for us last year. He had the first goal ever in coal miner history, so it's nice to have him back.
Nice.
He just had some opportunities with work last year that kept him from playing, and he's back in full force and wants to play. So it's great to have him back. I mean, the guy that played 5 years in the Q and 5 years university is going to be good on any team.
Yeah.
I'm just glad he plays for us.
That's fair.
Let's see who else we got here. We got Cody Orr, which, I mean, a lot of people in the league, like a lot of fans probably remember Cody for playing with the Amherst Ramblers. I mean, he was the captain of the team. I believe he played there for 5 years. Then he went and played at St. Thomas. But I mean, I guess we don't have a lot of places in the league that have junior A. I mean, West Kent has it now, but fans, especially in Miramichi, I feel like Miramichi is special in that way because they've seen a lot of the guys play either in Miramichi or against Miramichi at some point. Yep. So I'm sure the fans of Miramichi definitely remember Cody.
Yep. So now let's get into your returning core. Man, first of all, we're big Josh Doyle fans. We saw Josh Doyle make some of the best saves in the league. That dude is, when he's on, he's, you've got Josh Doyle and you've got Alex Collette and Bucktouche, and that, in our opinion, is the 1-2 goalies in the league. So how important is it for him to be back for you?
Josh is very important. Now, it's funny because he came straight out of junior. Like, he had finished playing junior in Springhill, and then he came to play for us. And we got him because he's going to Mount A, and he was working in Amherst at the time. And now we're bringing him back. But I guess I didn't realize just how good he was until we were in Shippagan. And we lost 7-3. I mean, we only had like 11 skaters. Yeah. But their GM came up to me after the game and said, that goalie might be one of the best goalies I've ever seen play in this league. And right there, I knew he had something special. And it seemed like right after I heard it, I noticed how good he was. We definitely have a great backup goalie in Jesse Cox, too. So to bring both of them back is just, I mean, I would like to think we have one of, if not the best, 1-2 punch in the league.
Arguments can be made for that.
Yeah, Bucktouche, now that I say that, Bucktouche and Elsie have pretty good goalies.
Yeah, there's a lot of good goalies in the league, too. I think Miramichi this year has stepped up their goaltending, so they're going to be a contender. But there's just something about, Josh Doyle was named was he third defenseman player of the year or something last year?
So I think all I remember is who won. All the Hawks players, whoever they were in whatever category, all the Hawks players won. And then there's everybody else.
Yeah, well, I think Alex Collette won defensive player, but I think Josh Doyle got some runner-up or something, and deservedly so.
He
was in the voting.
I think it was MVP.
Yeah, he was in the voting for something. He deserved it. I think he was noticed last year, his first year playing senior, and I think a lot of people are excited to see what he brings this year. Excited to see what the coal miners bring this year, because I think the expectation is from everybody I talk to, they think you guys are going to be be able to step it up a little bit more this year and probably be a team that could contend. You never know. You look at that Hawks series last year. The game 1 was a blowout, and it happens. Game 2 and game 3 were close, extremely close. That could have gone either way for either of those games, and you win both those games, maybe it changes everything, right?
Well, I think the thing that really, and not we were on the shorter side, and Trey had mentioned that when he was on too, but we only had 13 skaters that game, but it was that series with Miramichi really put really didn't help us because the league had ended so late last year that we had to play a 3-game series in 2 weekends, which is fine. But nobody could get ice on the Sunday or the next Friday.
Yeah.
So we played Saturday, Sunday, and then we played Saturday at Springhill and beat them. And then the next day we had to go to LC. And they had rested, I think it was for like 1 or 2 weeks, because I don't know if they played the last week of the league.
No, I think they were off, and then they were off that first round or half round or whatever it was.
We definitely got hammered.
That first game was rough. The playoffs should look a little bit different this year, I think, right?
So this year the league's going 1 through 8.
Yeah.
So it could end up really great for some teams or really bad. I mean, last year it helped the North teams, I think, because every team, I believe, in the South Division had more wins than anybody in the North.
Yeah. And you guys, the competition in the North is stiff, but they started a little bit later.
Right.
That helped them some. I think, unfortunately, we didn't get that true final, but this year we're starting a little bit. We're finishing the season a little bit earlier, so that'll be good.
Well, and yeah, that was the other thing. We just didn't have time to go 1 through 8, because I think it would have worked out at some point that it was Buck Tush or us that was gonna have to go to Dalhousie if we played 1 through 8. Ooh. And I mean, to play a 7-game series there, unless you're playing 3 games a weekend, even that would take you 3 weeks if you go all 7.
It's just.
I believe the format this year, it's 1 through 8, and then it might be a best of 5 in the first. I'm not sure. It's either a best of 5 or a best of 7, and then best of 7 the rest of the way through.
Okay, and 3 rounds.
Yeah, as far as I know, it'll go 1 through 8 right till the winner.
It'll be fun to watch.
It did change a little bit last year. That was all based on ice time. It might go best of 5 a couple of rounds just to help with the ice time, because I know some, like us, I think our ice has to be out by April 1st. But the league's done the second last week of January this year, so we should be fine. I would think.
I would hope so. Are there any other rule changes you can talk about this year?
Rule changes wise, I won't touch the big one because I'm not really familiar with it. I know the fighting will look a little bit different. I don't know how. It would depend on how much guys fight. I don't even know the actual rule. I just know we were told that they have to implement the rule.
Yeah.
So we're implementing the rule. Other than that, the imports is a big one. Wasn't sold on it at first, but then we got an import, and I thought, oh, well, you know what, this isn't such a bad idea. I just didn't think it was going to be easy to bring somebody into Springhill, but I mean, we have a core of guys who, like I said, played high-level hockey, and they know guys, and we were able to bring somebody on, so it's looking like we're going to start the season with Perdy Chisholm as our import.
Okay, tell me about him.
So he played Junior A for 5 years. Played 5 years in St. FX, CIS. And then he played in Perth Andover a couple of seasons in their senior league, and he spent 1 year in Buck Tush.
Okay.
So I find that the imports that the teams are bringing in have already played in the league at least once, which I think is good, because the fans at least know them a little bit. At least they're like Chris Doyle going back to Shippigan as they announced, he's played there. So, I mean, that'll definitely help them. LC's bringing in Tyler Brown. That'll be big for them. So it's definitely going to help, I think. It'll help with that little bit of competition, like I said, where the North seemed to be a little bit behind last year. Hopefully it helps them kind of close the gap. I'd like a league where everybody can win on any night.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. I think that the closer the teams can be skill-wise, the better it's going to be for the fans, better it's going to be for attendance, better it's going to be for the league. So, as a Hawks fan or as a JC's fan, you obviously want to see your team win every night, but realistically, I'd rather not see that, and hopefully we can get things sorted out. So you guys start,
for the fans too. Realistically, you want your team to win, but I mean, you don't want to go watch the Hawks win 12-0 every game. You know what I mean? It's more exciting for you. You get your money's worth if a game goes to overtime.
Absolutely. It's more fun. You get those tight games, and with the playoffs being 1 through 8, I think it should be interesting, and we'll really see if there's disparity in the league because, again, going back to last year, you guys and the Hawks, that series, there was a couple 1-goal games there. There's some close games. So it could go either way. I like a league where anybody can win, for sure.
Well, and for the playoffs, too, I noticed this because Our home opener was supposed to be against Tracadie, but we had to switch it. They just need a little bit of extra time, which, will help everybody as it can. But Shippagan stepped up to come down to play us, which, hats off to them. They run a great organization, and it was great of them to come down and play us. But I noticed in the schedule, within the first 3 weeks of the schedule, we don't play Shippagan after October 27th. So we could go all year, meet them in the first round of the playoffs, hypothetically, and not have seen them since October.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. Because, with the North teams, you guys would only play them once at home, once on the road, right?
Yeah, so for us, we'll play Dalhousie, Shippagan, Tracadie, Miramichi, and River Valley, a home and home. And then we play a double home and home against LC and Buckpush.
Yeah.
So, the North teams will do the same thing, just kind of they'll only play LC, Buckpush, and us, a home and home. They'll play each other. The 3 teams will play within each other. And I think Miramichi and River Valley play each other 4 times. Or 5, I don't remember. Just to get that extra, that's a big rivalry.
Yeah, well, that's a huge rivalry, Andy. It's a
Anybody
lot
on
of
Facebook saw it last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, and that opens up this weekend, so can't wait. We'll be in Springhill next weekend for that Hawks game in Springhill, so we're just excited this year to try to get around a little bit more, get to see more teams, and do you have anything else to say?
I got to every rink last year, even when our team didn't play.
Nice.
You kind of had to. We were new. Nobody knew what to expect. All we knew was I knew who Trey was. I knew who Sawyer was. I knew who a lot of the guys on the Hawks were. And I've been to JC's games because I live in Dieppe. So, you're bored on a Sunday night. Well, I guess now you go to either Rishabukta or Buckpush, but a couple of years ago, Buckpush was the option on Sunday.
Well, now this year, I think they're the option on Friday because the Steamers are playing Sundays. So
yeah, it kind of goes back and forth. I think they kind of went with whatever ice time they could get. Hopefully, maybe Friday nights would be good for them. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I think it should be good. More hockey in Bucktush. It's a good hockey town, so that should be good for them. I think that's about all we have for tonight. I'm probably going to wrap this up. Connor, do you have anything else to add?
Just thank you to all the fans. The fans keep the league going. Jeez, not even the playoffs last year. Just regular season games. Fans were coming with the teams to our rink. That's pretty special. Our closest is Bucktush, which is over an hour and a half away. So I think there had to have been at least 100 Hawks fans at that final game.
Yeah, there was a lot of people. That was a packed rink, and it was a loud rink. My gosh, it was a good time. You know what? Actually, I've got one more question for you. You guys are the only team in the league that has a mascot.
We do, yeah. Good old Digger, yeah. So we wanted the brand identity. So we went with the coal miners because it's Springhill and it's a coal mining town. So coal miners was a given right off the bat, and then our colors, which they kind of match, the Miners Museum in town is the yellow and the red, and so is the high school. So we kind of wanted to get into that a little bit, but then we thought, oh well, what else can we do? And we noticed nobody else had a mascot. So we let the kids name them. So the kids at our games, I think they all put in a ballot or something, or one of the kids got to pick. I don't remember how they did it, but yeah, now we have Digger the coal miner.
Digger was born. So Digger actually stunned a wrestler this summer at a wrestling show. Hopefully some people from Springhill got out to that one. That was a good time. Springhill's just great little town. A lot of fun. So
yeah, and I think it's good too. We can bring that entertainment factor back because towards the end we were getting 800 fans. And that rink hasn't seen 800 fans since the junior B team was winning all the time. They won the Atlantics back in that would have been over 12 years ago. So it's been quite a while. Saturday nights in Springhill are becoming a tradition again, and the community likes it. And beneficial for both sides is that we don't clash with the Ramblers very much this year. There's 5 of our home games they don't play, or they play in the afternoon.
Okay, good. That's good for everybody involved. All right, Connor, that's about all. And thank you for joining us.
All right, no problem.
We're
be glad to do it again.
Hopefully we're looking forward to having you back on.
Yeah, hopefully we can get some of our players on here for you too.
Yeah. Anytime, you know how to reach me. If anybody's interested, I can make something happen pretty quick. So, thanks, Connor. Have a great day.
Thanks. You too.